If you liked the video, feel free to subscribe. We have battle reports, list videos, and other Warhammer 40K content every week. Thanks for watching, thanks for stopping by. This video is a deep dive on the Salamanders character, Forgefather Vulkan He'stan. We will take a look at his datasheet along with two of the more used unit combinations for Vulkan. There are some whispers that Vulkan He'stan will be getting a new model this year. Hopefully that is true. I figured now would be a good time to cover him and hopefully add some new appreciation for a beloved Forgefather. Let's take a look at the Space Marine Army rule, as well as some of the rules from the Firestorm Assault Force detachment that will benefit Vulkan and his attached unit. The Oath of Moment: at the start of your command phase, you can select one enemy unit, and until the next command phase, any of our Adeptus Astartes models in our army will get to re-roll the hit roll against that target. And if you have the Salamanders, Ultramarines, or one of these other non-divergent chapters, you will also get +1 to the wound roll against your Oath of Moment target. The Firestorm Assault Force detachment rule is close range eradication. Ranged weapons equipped by Adeptus Astartes models from your army have the assault ability, and each time an attack is made with such a weapon that targets a unit within 12 inches, add 1 to the strength of that attack. We won't look at the enhancements since we cannot put an enhancement on Vulkan He'stan. There is only a few stratagems that I really want to focus on for this unit. The first one is Crucible of Battle for 1 CP in your shooting phase or the fight phase. As long as Vulkan's unit is targeting the closest eligible target within 6 inches, add 1 to the wound roll. Immolation protocols for 2 CP in your shooting phase. It'll give Vulkan's unit devastating wounds with their torrent weapons. Armour of Contempt for 1 CP in your opponent's shooting or the fight phase. You can select one enemy unit and then you will have -1 to the armor penetration of those attacks. This was changed in the December 2024 data slate. It used to affect all the enemy units, now just affects the one unit that you use this stratagem on. The last one, Rapid Embarkation for 1 CP at the end of the fight phase. As long as Vulkan is wholly within 6 inches of a transport, we can embark Vulkan's unit into a transport. The restrictions is you can't do this within engagement range, and you can't do it if we've already taken Vulkan out of a transport this turn. Those are the rules I want to focus on for this deep dive, mainly Crucible Battle and Immolation protocols. Let's take a quick look at the Vulkan He'stan datasheet. He is a movement of 6, toughness 4, 2-up save with a 4-up invulnerable, 5 wounds, 6 leadership, and OC of 1. Then he has the Gauntlet of the Forge, ignores cover and torrent, 12-inch range, D6 +3, strength 6, AP 1, damage 1. His melee weapon is Spear of Vulkan for 6 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 6, AP 2, damage 2. For his abilities, he is a 6+ Feel No Pain, Seeker of the Found, and Forgefather. He can lead the Assault Intercessors, Company Heroes, Infernus Squad, or the Tactical Squad. The abilities for Vulkan is really where he shines though. For the detachment rule, Vulkan does have a Handflamer torrent weapon, but this detachment rule isn't really going to improve Vulkan himself. It will, however, give more benefit to the unit he is leading. For Vulkan He'stan, reroll the hits and +1 to the wound on the melee profile from Oath of Moment makes Vulkan into a decent melee threat. It is Vulkan's datasheet abilities that makes him so useful to a Salamander's list though. The first ability, Forgefather, in your shooting phase, select one enemy unit within 24 inches and visible to this model. Until the end of the phase, each time a friendly Adeptus Astartes model makes a ranged attack with a torrent or melta weapon that targets that enemy unit, you can re-roll the wound roll. The best thing about this ability is it benefits our entire army as long as they are Adeptus Astartes. Re-roll wounds with melta and torrent is a huge damage increase into that one enemy unit. I have found the new improved Infernus Marines benefit the most from this ability. This is a big reason we take Vulkan He'stan in our list. The second ability, Seeker of the Unfound. At the start of the battle, select one objective marker on the battlefield. While this model is within range of the objective marker, it has an objective control of 10, leadership of 5, and a 4-up Feel No Pain. This ability makes taking the selected objective from Vulkan not an easy task. OC 10 with a 4-up Feel No Pain is spicy. Depending on the unit we attach to Vulkan, we could easily have 20+ OC on that objective. Leadership 5 makes it hard to battle shock the unit and then steal the objective. Let's take a look at some of the unit combinations for Vulkan He'stan. The first one is the Infernus Squad. and this is one of the two viable units I put with Vulkan. The other is Company Heroes, and he can lead Assault Intercessors or the Tactical Squad, but those units don't have the same synergy with Vulkan. The great thing with the Infernus Marines is if Vulkan is in our list, the Infernus Squad models gain an extra 1 OC, taking them up to OC2. The Infernus Squad also gained AP1 in the December 2024 datasheet, and let's take a look at their datasheet. They have a movement of 6, toughness of 4, 3 up save, 2 wounds, leadership 6, and an OC of 1. They have the bolt pistol with the Power Blaster, and the Power Blaster is ignores cover with Torrent, 12-inch range, D6 attacks, strength 5, AP 1, damage 1. And these are auto-hitting attacks since they are a Torrent weapon. For the melee, we have the close combat weapons. The abilities is Oath of Moment and Incendiary Terror. Incendiary Terror, in your shooting phase after this unit has shot, you can select one enemy unit hit by one or more of those attacks made by the Power Blaster. That enemy unit must take a Battle Shock test, subtracting 1 from that test. This can be used to turn off some defensive stratagems, or just to Battle Shock a unit to make stealing an objective much easier. Strength 5 Torrent weapons with AP1 and ignores cover are perfect for killing light infantry or horde units. Give them reroll wounds for extra barbecue action. Within 12 inches, our detachment rule close range eradication comes into play, taking these Power Blasters up to Strength 6, AP1, ignores cover, and that can threaten medium to elite infantry. OC2 with a threatening Torrent weapon profile, these just might be slept on. I have had a few people in my Salamanders videos swear by how good these are now. So let's take a look at some of the stronger stratagems for Vulkan and the Infernus unit. Crucible Battle for 1 CP, this is in my opinion the best stratagem in the detachment. +1 to the wound roll is one of the best damage buffs in the game. The Infernus already have that potential strength 6 from the detachment rule, and +1 to wound. Now these are wounding most infantry units or anything toughness 5 or under on a 2+. Put these into Vulkan's Forgefather target to reroll the wound roll, and this could also be used in the fight phase to punch our way to combat if there's any enemy chaff units trying to tie these up. Next up is Immolation Protocols for 2 CP. This stratagem can really bring the pain. There is no cap on the amount of devastating wounds we can inflict. Then we can put this into the Forgefather target to reroll the wound roll, and this will be 10 D6 Torrent shots if we have the big 10-man unit, and this can threaten even the toughest of enemy units. An expensive 2 CP, so make sure you line it up with Vulkan's reroll the wound roll Forgefather ability. This is my choice when I want Vulkan He'stan to be more offensive with a very dangerous Overwatch threat to any enemy unit who does get within 12 inches. 90 points for the smaller 5-man or 180 for the big 10-man unit. With 2 OC and all the detachment synergy, I really think this unit of Vulkan He'stan and the Infernus Marines has a place in any Firestorm Assault Force list. It's not as tanky as our next unit combination, but the damage potential from this is the highest of all the units Vulkan can lead. Let's touch on Armour of Contempt quickly, because this will make a difference in all the units that we do have attached to Vulkan, and Armour of Contempt, like I said, was changed in the December 2024 datasheet to target an enemy unit, and only attacks from that enemy unit will have the -1 AP from Armour of Contempt. This used to be army-wide. You would use this in anything shooting into your unit would be -1 AP. Now it's just that one enemy unit. While still quite strong, especially in the fight phase, it does cause us to take a moment when being targeted in the shooting phase to see what else can target our Vulkan He'stan unit. The opponent will try to get us to use Armour of Contempt on a low amount of attacks activation, and then only to shoot us off the table with a wholly different unit later on in the shooting phase. So take the time to see what can shoot at our Vulkan He'stan unit, and then save it for those big activations. Our second unit is the Company Heroes. This unit combination serves a much different purpose than the Vulkan He'stan Infernus unit, and let's take a quick look at the Company Heroes datasheet. They have a movement of 6, a toughness of 4, 3 up save with 4 wounds, 6 leadership, and an OC of 1. And they have a whole bunch of different weapons in this unit, so it's pretty much your agent has the bolt rifle with a banner, your champion has a mastercrafted power weapon with a rifle, and your 2 company veterans have the mastercrafted bolt rifle and the mastercrafted heavy bolter. I might have messed that up some. I mostly have these in for the melee and their abilities. The shooting is good, but it's not nearly as potent as our Infernus squad. Those abilities that I was talking about is the Agent's Banner, as while this unit contains an Agent, add 1 to the objective control of models in this unit, and Command Squad. While character model is leading this unit, each time attack targets this unit, subtract 1 from the wound roll. It must be a captain or chapter master, and Vulkan He'stan is a captain. As we can see, the company heroes are more of a utility survival unit, being only 95 points and a great price point for what they provide. 4 wounds each, a 3+ save, and -1 to the wound roll with an OC of 2 with that Astartes banner. These are for holding an objective. For the stratagems, Crucible Battle, and this is more of a stratagem to help us take the objective or punch out any enemy units trying to steal Vulkan's fancy objective. Although this is a unit I'll be trying to spend the least amount of resources as possible on. It is a plant on objective in no man's land to farm primary points all game unit. You don't want to spend a lot of CP on this. It's not really for doing damage, it's for holding that unit all game and just farming up points. Rapid embarkation is more of an option with this unit. Since it is a smaller unit, there is only 4 of these company heroes, so that is a 5-man unit when you include Vulkan. If I do have the points in my list, I like to take an impulsor to put this unit inside, then have it lurk nearby doing secondary actions. Then if we need to use this rapid embarkation stratagem to pop inside the transport for some extra survivability or movement, it's not a must-use stratagem, but it is a good tool in our toolbox. This unit has less overall range threat without a strong Overwatch threat. It is overall harder to kill than an Infernus squad, even that big 10-man unit. -1 to the wound roll is a strong survival ability. It allows us to be a bit more bold when moving out and selecting our Forgefather target in the shooting phase, since this tough squad should soak up a lot of the attacks coming back. The Vulkan Infernus unit has a total of 30 OC on the Seeker of the Unfound objective, while the Vulkan Company Heroes unit has a total of 18 OC, and that is a lot of OC. It is going to take a lot to take this objective back from Vulkan. And that is our Vulkan He'stan deep dive, along with the 2 units I feel are best suited for joining him. The Assault Intercessors could be a fun option, they're just not as strong as the Infernus squad or the Company Heroes. Vulkan He'stan gives our army a great damage buff while being one of the better Space Marines named characters for holding an objective in no man's land. Maybe if we do get a new model, he will be able to join some of the other Space Marine units. Vulkan He'stan with aggressors? Yes please. Let's finish the video with some final thoughts. Vulkan is one of the 2 Salamanders only characters. I like how he adds a totally different aspect to a list than Adrax Agatone. He can really turn up the damage of Torrent and Melta weapons. Taking Infernus Marines up to 2 OC is nice. Perhaps a new detachment will benefit our Infernus squad even more, making the 2 OC even stronger. If you have your own favorite Vulkan He'stan unit combination or story of Vulkan being clutch for a win, throw it in the comments. Subscribe for weekly battle reports, list videos, and other Warhammer 40K content. And like always, thanks for watching, thanks for stopping by.